Hi guys, and I want to welcome you to today's video that's coming live to you from, of all places, in the middle of no place at a retreat center. And yes, I'm on a retreat this weekend, but I wanted to share with you a brief word that I got from the Lord that I think will really bless you. And so I want you to turn to Numbers chapter 21. And in verse 16 and 17, it talks about a well. And it says, sing to that well. And the well which the leaders sank, which the nobles of the people dug, with the scepter and with their staffs. Interesting. The leaders dug this well with the scepter, which is a picture of authority, and with their staff, which is a picture of guidance. And so leaders dig the wells. We drink from the wells that the leaders have dug. So first off, if your leaders aren't digging wells for you to drink from, then you need to pray into that and see what the Lord is saying about that. The leaders dig the well. They don't demand that you dig the well for them. They dig the well. And so when you drink deeply from the well, and remember that Yeshua said, from your innermost being shall spring living waters. That is what comes from these wells. And it's interesting, in verse 18, it says, and from the wilderness. So when you're drinking from the well, it's a wilderness well. When you're in the wilderness, God provides manna, provides the basics. But you have to learn the wilderness lessons to move out of the wilderness. And you have to drink from the water in the wilderness to move out of the wilderness. And so it says that they continued to matana. Matana in the Hebrew comes from a root word that means gift. So when you've drunk from the water of the well in the wilderness, then you get to walk into matana. And from matana, you pick up the gifts that God is gifting you with. And then you travel from matana, from the place of the gifting, to Nachalayel. And when you're in Nachalayel, that is a valley of the Lord, the valley of God, of El himself. This is not a valley that the enemy shoves you into. It's a valley the Lord leads you into. It's for the purpose of testing your gift. And so from the place of testing, so you've gone to the wilderness, you've drank from the well that the leaders dug, and then you have progressed to the place of the giftings, and from the place of the giftings, then you have gone into the valley, and your gift is tested in the valley. And as your gift is tested in the valley of Nachalayel, you ascend to the mountain of Bamot. And when you ascend to the mountain of Bamot, interesting that it is a high place, a mountain where the glory of God is. If your gift is not tested in the valley of God, when you get to the high place, all you will see is your own glory, and you will be blinded to the positioning of the enemy. Because if you look in Numbers 21, as you progress through Numbers 21, there is war. And you need to go to the high place in order to see the position of the enemy armies so you can fight the battle in the war to come. So if your gift is tested in the valley of God, and then you ascend to the high place of Bamot, then you will see over the plain that you're about to step into. You'll see the positioning of the enemy. You'll see the positioning of the warfare, and you will get the strategy from heaven. We ascend in worship so we can descend into war. You have to have your gift tested in the valley of God before you can appropriately ascend and see what the enemy's about, so that when you descend back to the plain, you will be strategically positioned and placed. Because notice that when they come down from Bamot to the valley that is in the land of Moab, and remember, Moab was an incestuous relationship between Lot and his daughter. This is a place of deep sin. So when you ascend into the valley and you go by the place of deep sin. At the top of Pisgah, which overlooks the wasteland. So you're still looking over all of these things. When you descend from Bamot and you come down to the plain and into the valley, you'll be properly positioned. You'll see where the enemy's at, and you'll understand how to deal with the enemy and the positioning that he's in. But if you don't drink from the well in the wilderness and take that deep water that the leaders dug for you, not your own well, but the ones the leaders dug for you, and you take that water with you from the wilderness, and you go to the place of giftings, and you take that gifting and you descend into the valley of God and let that gifting be tested, then when you ascend, you will see clearly so that you can descend into war, and you will defeat the enemy before you every single time. So, like I said, this is a brief word, and I just really wanted, it's been on my heart for 2 or 3 days, and I really wanted to share this with you. So I bless you. I call you blessed in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. So get ready. It's time to walk into Matana and descend into Nachaleel so that you can ascend to Bamot and come down properly positioned. But make sure you drink from the water of the well your leaders have dug for you. That is a critical component of this whole process. So abundant blessings and shalom to all of you.